All right, so let's continue to move forward. We're going to begin the second chapter of season 4. Season 4, A Bug in the System. I assume we're going to hear from somebody. I'm surprised we're not hearing from Taimi on the communicator, actually. I thought we did. But we do get a letter from
Taimi.
Keto. Oh, now
You
we
there?
talk to Taimi.
Come in, Taimi.
Here, Commander. Sorry. Tinkering with some personal projects.
Keto says you found another gate hub Joko's taken over.
Kinda. One of the Farinor gates led directly to some big Inquest HQ. Bad news. Zero idea where the base is, but I did find the name of a scientist there.
So, if we find the scientist, we find the base Joko's using to launch his attacks. That's a start. I'm on my way to see Keto. Tell Bram and Rux to meet me at the Lifeblood Waterhole.
Oh, yeah, the water hole. That's where we go. Okay, let's look at our email real quick. Or email. I always want to call it email. Pigeon mail. It's pigeon mail. Congratulations on handling the Farnar incident. My intelligence suggests, yes, of course, Keto. You know, it's surprising he didn't just appear out of nowhere right next to us to say this. Instead, he actually sent a letter. So apparently he's not skulking around 24/7, like being creepy and watching us while we change. My intelligence suggests you did indeed slow Palawa Joko's invasion, though his incursions in Eteria continue, and he's doubtless working to accelerate them. Be assured, my organization stands ready to assist in stopping him. In that spirit, the Order of Shadows may also be able to shed light on some of the information Taimi has uncovered in her investigations at Farnar, particularly her conclusion that Joko has gained control of another Asura gate hub. Meet me at Lifeblood Waterhole, and I'll share some details with you. Alright, so let's go do that. Meanwhile, Canuck, in the lull after we shut down Farnar, Ritlock and I begin to worry that Joko's invasion attempts may be the first step in a larger plan. Yeah, I mean, that seems reasonable. Usually you don't just invade willy-nilly. We've decided to quietly begin investigating for any intel that might shed light on his future intentions. Ritlock is focusing his efforts on Istan, while I have been reaching out to various parties here in Amnoon. By the way, Ritlock tells me that our Corsair friend, Saida the Sly, used all that bounty money to get her hands on an airship. So remember, she was on an aquatic vessel. Let's see if we can kind of move that. And so her ship is this one right here, right? In fact, it's called the Dark Leviathan. It's a normal aquatic sailing vessel. But now she's got an airship. That may come in handy, assuming she sees an opportunity to enhance her reputation or wealth, of course. So kind of foreshadowing, right, to more of the story later. Saida has an airship. So, let's go to the watering hole, which 100% makes me think that the commander's going to go to some dive bar where, like, a bunch of, like, 40-year-old unemployed men hang out and talk about how their life is really hard. And that's where we're going to meet Agent Keto, whom I do not like, and find out what's going on with these invasions.
No refuge for you anywhere in this desert.
Yeah, I don't want to do this event. So we're going to see something interesting in this chapter. These first few instances all are consecutive as if they are one instance. And that's not something I recall them doing prior to this. And I don't know that they've done it a lot since, to be honest. I think they did it a couple other times. But in general, it's not something they do a lot. It is something they did with this particular chapter. But it works very well in this particular chapter because of the way they structured the story. It's a good thing they did it, because when they string together like this is actually going to be like a long stretch for us here.
Agent Keto, thanks for the invite.
We have to keep each other informed, especially with a threat like Joko on the loose.
Especially.
You're looking for an Inquest base with the gate that's connected to Farinor, yes?
Yep.
They ship everything through a transport facility hidden behind that waterfall. Supplies, prisoners, personnel.
Handy for your people.
Possibly. In any case, their tracking network should tell you exactly where Taimi's Inquest scientist is stationed.
Then I need in.
They've been sending live research specimens through recently. And I don't mean animals. One of their convoys just received an unusual order to delay their arrival. They're waiting up ahead. Taking their place should get you inside.
Ah, handy. So when the commander said that it is handy for his people, being the, what is it, Order of Shadows, not Order of Whispers, that this is the base they use, it's like a concept of like intelligence gathering, where if someone's going to operate right in your backyard, like say, in an area that you ostensibly have control over, and they feel like they're sneaky and they're in your space, sometimes allowing them to continue is like the best option once you're aware of them, because you can continue to keep tabs on them. And they put themselves now, instead of an advantageous position, they put themselves in a disadvantageous position, because it's very easy, now that you've identified them, to keep track of all their comings and goings, so forth. Right, Agent Keto?
Oh, and one more thing. Joko's agents are going around digging up remains that date back to the primeval kings.
Gross.
Any idea what that could mean?
None. But it's creepy. So it certainly sounds like Joko. I'll let you know if I learn anything.
Yeah, we 100% will learn what that is about. One thing that I don't think we learn about, I don't recall an explanation at any point in time for how Joko managed to get out of the mist, where he was like in the domain of the lost, right? If Joko were like Rox or Bram or Ritlock or something, if Joko were a main character that we were going to continue to like have accompany us, I would demand an explanation for that, kind of like I demand an explanation, which we're never going to get, for the entire Ritlock experience. Front to back, how did that play out for Ritlock? Again, I would like to see that in a fractal, but however they get it for us, I think that would be good for the players to get that. I'm less concerned about it with Joko, because not knowing kind of contributes to Joko's mystique, and we don't necessarily need that to continue to proceed through the story. It's simply enough to know, hey, Joko's back, like bam, deal with it, and and fight Joko, right? Rox, what are you doing
Commander.
You summoned?
Ram,
Summoned.
look. The faster we shut down Joko, the faster your people and mine can stop worrying about the invasions.
Can't argue with that. I assume you have a plan.
Keto suggested a disguise. There's a specimen convoy we can hijack and impersonate. Trust me.
Trust you? You ask a lot from people. You know that?
You can count on us, Commander. Both of us.
So salty. Poor Brim. Alright, let's go find that convoy and hijack it.
There's our disguise.
Should be easy enough, right? In theory.
I chose you.
No, I want an explanation. Where are you taking us?
Whatever this is. Thank you so much for freeing us.
We're glad to help. Now go on home.
Bye. Bye, poor kidnapped victims. So, this happens a few times where, like, including in the most recent release, the second half of Guyala Delves, what is it, like, What Lies Within, or something like that? Is the most recent one? I don't know. Where, like, we get in a golem, which is silly enough if you look at it, like, in relation to this is the smallest human female frame, I believe. And as it is, like, that's a tough sell. Imagine if I was like a giant Charr, But, bam, there we go. We're in it now.
Tight fit. But you shouldn't raise any eyebrows walking around in this thing.
That covers you. What about us?
Yes.
Shackles, maybe? Say the Inquest ordered a Norn and Charr specimen for their labs.
The commander leading me around in chains? Not a chance.
Oh, come on, Bram.
You got a better idea, I'm all ears.
Come on, Bram.
Fine.
And now they're in chains. So this actually, I don't recall anywhere else where they use this particular mechanism. And you know, now that I look at it, I don't think that they did anything except extend a visual chain, because their behavior is still that of NPCs just accompanying us wherever we go. Anyway, okay, into the waterfall. Right, or into the lab, which is behind the waterfall. Poof.
Specimen transport confirmed. Please proceed.
Door's locked, but there's a panel here.
Makes sense. Transport golems have a set of onboard instruments. Helps those specimen collectors do their job. There. Got the remote access tools online. Try them on the door panel.
So I've talked about how, like, at the most basic level, I can live with like Magitech and some of the technology that lives in Guild Wars 2, kind of in contrast, like the castles and swords and shields and kind of fantasy aspect of Guild Wars 2. You know, the fact that there's like the engineer and that there's pistols and rifles and stuff, like, okay, all right, I can live with it. But then Season 3, Path of Fire, Season 4 really like goes bonkers on like this like technological power creep, particularly when it comes to Taimi, and we see that here, right? So not only do we have the this personal communicator, but now she's like, keep in mind the personal communicator that she's using does not presumably interface with this golem unless she just had the foresight to program it in advance to where it like plugs into the other technologies or whatever. I have no idea. But now she's like also remotely reprogramming the golem and everything else.
That did it.
It serves its function for the story, but you know, you suspend disbelief for video games anyway, but you really got to suspend disbelief here.
I'll jerk your chain and say heal.
Not funny.
It's a little funny.
Please direct all specimens through intake processing for delousing and sanitation.
Oh, come on.
Haha,
No
delousing.
choice if we want to keep our cover.
I wonder what actually happens back there for delousing. Think they like manually scrub them down, or you think they use like ultraviolet light or something? Gamma rays? Who knows? Go ahead, Frostbite. You too. Yeah, so as I was saying, for me, what the problem it really comes back to is don't break the rules of your own world. Create whatever world you want, but then don't break the rules of it after
Lots
that.
of security in here. Sentries, drones.
Definitely avoid the drones. Their sensors might see through your disguise.
So on first playthrough, this is kind of fun.
Security drones are a routine precaution for the benefit of our valued and trusted personnel. If targeted for a scan, please avoid any threatening gestures or suspicious body language for your own safety. Keep up the good work, and remember, we care.
Like these drones and this whole puzzle. This is like a kind of like a puzzle thing where we're gonna try and navigate without like drawing the suspicion or ire of these drones. It's kind of a cool little touch and whatnot. However, on the like 5th playthrough or what will you, it stops being fun after a while. It just kind of becomes a nuisance.
16 total, all Wyvern related. So despite your spun predictions, no one wins this week. Aha! But 2 were eaten, by the way. 3 of the non-deaths are in a vegetative state, so I also...
Alright, I got through the first piece. You kind of know that you've hit like a checkpoint, so to speak, each time because there's a new golem waiting on you. That being the golem you're going to hop into if you die.
That the new exterminator? It is. Last year efficiency's better about you.
Ah!
Are those your specimens in processing?
Some
What
guy
idiot requisitions
in some
those?
lab. Look, they don't pay me to ask questions.
Of course not. Alchemy forbids you tax that tortured little mind of yours. Well, not my problem. Go.
I'm trying to go.
Looks like your golem's got a stealth module too. Here, I'll activate it. You'll probably need it to stay out of sight.
Yeah, would have been helpful a minute ago.
Heavy wick. We've got the usual number of branded on the schedule, but a lot more cadavers.
I noticed. But you know what I didn't
Alrighty.
ask a lot of questions.
What do we got here? Without provoking the inquest. Be combative. Oh. Alright, if we get caught again, we'll be combative. I just prefer not to do it if we can help it, because I'd prefer just to get through this kind of like the quote-unquote right way, where, you know, what they designed to be the optimal way, I guess. But if we mess that up somehow, then we'll go ahead and be combative with the drone and get like this little easy access achievement. So I do...
Traveling to Rata Primus, please be aware that intermittent gate malfunctions may cause delays. Your patience
Wrong button.
is appreciated.
So I do kind of like it when they give like kind of competing achievements, where
They decommissioned the old fella.
where one achievement is for, oh man,
Boy, didn't we? It's been quite a ride. Well, no point in getting sentimental, I suppose.
oh my gosh, doing terrible.
True.
Where one achievement's for like doing it one way and one achievement's for doing it the other. And so if you kind of botch up the one, then you still have an option on the table for the other. I like it when they do that.
Today's research initiative is entirely safe. Claims of parasitic infestation or loss of motor or brain function are false and should be reported. Keep up the good work, and remember, we care.
I'm doing a terrible job here. I can't remember the way through this one.
So, Taimi, tell me about this Inquest scientist. Taimi?
Sorry, tinkering again. Just trying to take my mind off things.
Alert. It has been 17 hours and 21 minutes since your last break.
Think you might be overdoing it?
It's possible. That Inquest scientist, he's a portal specialist named Blish, who is coincidentally a friend of mine from college. Sweet guy, very smart. But apparently, and tragically, now an Inquest stooge.
Oh boy. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Going back to tinkering now.
This keeps happening. I don't know why they have like messed up the audio for uh-oh.
Hey, you!
Alright, I said we'd do it. I don't know why it's messed up my audio to where random commanders, because that's happened like 3 or 4 times. 2 or 3 or 4 times. Something like that. Not sure what that's about. Oh man, it throws everything at you when you do the whole threatening thing, doesn't it?
We heal as one.
And yet, somehow, I still have to get back in the golem. I don't think I was far enough forward. Yep. Yeah, that audio thing's super weird. I think it did a Charr female voice right before that, too. For my character. Alright, this should be about it. Yay, done with that.
Finally.
Ah.
The golem.
How did the whole delousing thing
Looks
work?
like the system Keto was talking
transport and tracking systems online. Enter authentication to proceed.
Alright. I like this puzzle. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I think it's a good puzzle. I enjoy it. No, that's not right. I think you hit twice on each one of them, if I remember right. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe it's just once on that one. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Outer, inner. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's roll that.
Authentication confirmed.
You got it.
Please specify the transport destination or say directory to access the resource directory.
Directory.
Resource name?
Blish.
Resource Blish is located at Rata Primus. Would you like to travel there now?
Yes.
Error. Destination gate is currently offline. Would you like to travel to the nearest alternative?
Okay.
Gate ready for transit.
Let's go.
Yay, let's go. Okay. And remember how I talked about how several instances like chain together to act like one instance? This should be the end of one instance and the beginning of another. Yep, there's our little music.
Some kind of lab. Is this Rata Primus?
Supposed to be a pretty big base. Could be more than one building.
Keep your eyes open for any sign of Joko or the gate hub he's using.
Okay, so this instance, you could really blow through. This second of the 3 instances that are chained together. We're not going to, though, because there's some things to see here. We're going to take a look at some of that. Alright. Forgot my password again. Reset the password on your account. Set password as password. Alright. So we're like... I'm sure... Because I work off the probably unfair assumption that most devs are like big computer nerds. And this chapter in particular, and their story in general, when it comes to interacting with like consoles, like Inquest consoles and so forth, they like making like cybersecurity jokes. In this chapter, they definitely do that. Where when we interact with a lot of these consoles, or when something requires a password or whatever, then they have a lot of that, like social engineering jokes and like bad password security jokes and stuff like that.
No good trying to sneak past these guys if we need to search the place.
Yep. So there's an achievement here for killing all the Inquest. I don't think I did that one on 0 to 0 either. Defeat all the Inquest. So we're going to do that. Oh, yeah, we're going to try and do that as well. So we got a couple of achievements here that we are going to get that I didn't get on my 0 to 0 because I didn't want to take the time for all this then. But now that we're doing the story playthrough, I want to kind of soak all this stuff up. Alright. Foreigner expedition. Status. Aborted, evacuated under duress. That duress being us, right? What did they get out of that? 1 crate, excavation tool, used, functional. We don't care. 2 consoles, slightly damaged, functional. Alright, so they took back some of the Inquest stuff. 1 sample vial, produced on site, do not open. Okay, so as we advance in Season 4, we're going to find out more about what's going on here. And we remember, they already mentioned Joko has been trying to, like, dig things up from going all the way back to, like, the Primeval Kings era. And, do something. We don't know what. Hey, man. It's like I just invited myself to get stunned. What an idiot. Alright, any more consoles? What about back here? Nothing. Alright, in here. Get some more Inquest we gotta kill.
Time to do some real damage.
Yeah, we need to explore everything before we hit the elevator controls there. Let's see. Got another Inquest console. Interterminal communicator. Automated response prototype online. Channel opened. New subjects arriving today. Containment vessels are prepared and ready. Containment vessels prepared and ready. Automated response. Oh, are you excited? You bet. I got a bet with Lab 6 that we clear 14 live subjects this fiscal period. You want in? You bet. Excellent. How much should I put you down for? You bet. Different usage of you bet, right? On your behalf? All right. Let's say 10 gold. So, there's a point in the personal story, like really early, where like there's a reference to one of the members of Destiny's Edge making a bet, and it was like 1 or 2 gold, which upon release, like for most players, probably felt like a lot of money. Like it took some time to generate that, but very quick players learned. I learned very slow, but a lot of players learned very quick how to generate a lot of gold, and of course, the reward for certain dungeons was over gold anyway and stuff. So it ended up not being much. So maybe I think it was Kaith, maybe. So now we know that Kaith is just a big cheapskate because, or was it Zoja? Because here, like random Asuran scientists are betting 10 gold. Right? All right, we made bets on behalf of some Asuran scientists, but we probably just killed him. So like, it can come out of his life insurance, I suppose. Like he doesn't need it anymore, or maybe it's one of these. It's the Inquest Bruiser here. There he is. Hey, I placed a bet on your behalf. What does this one say? Oh, this is actually relevant to the story. Incoming message.
All labs, this is the director. Some of you may be aware of a minor security issue in Rata Primus involving a small number of cadaverous intruders. Security has the matter in hand. Rumors to the contrary will result in compliance, correction, or expungement. All labs are to continue with business as usual. Director out.
Cadaverous sounds a lot like Joko's goons. I think we're on the right track.
I agree, Taimi. It does. So apparently the Inquest is having awakened problems. Is it because when Joko got his hands on those original Inquest, he discovered that their technology was useful for him, and now he wants more? Very possible.
Poor creatures in these
All right.
cells.
The live test subjects we've been hearing about.
Just when you think the Inquest couldn't get any more despicable.
Okay, but we have seen this before. They were doing this kind of thing. If you do the Crucible of Eternity dungeon, definitely in the story mode, and I think in some of the paths, we see this kind of thing as well. Right, so we're going to let as many of these folks go as possible. Live specimen. But this one's deceased. Due to consumption by parasitic insectoids. Loss of bodily integrity. Well, that sounds bad. Notify management new janitorial staff will be required after today's resignations. Right? So it's kind of funny. It is kind of dark. Like, our internet doesn't do dark very well. They do it a bit during Icebreed Saga. No, I could go down that road a little bit and talk about historical examples of like people being responsible for disposing of massive amounts of dead and the issues they experience. But I guess we'll save that for today. We don't need that today. What do we got going on here? Oh, an empty release control specimen. Oh, there it is. There's a MOA in there. All right, so we're gonna release it. Oh, apparently they were testing pain threshold. What a horrible thing to test on a living creature, right? It sounds like the kind of thing that some wackadoo scientist would like test on himself. There is some like precedent for that kind of thing. Is what's in there? I think there's another dead. I think we got a dead person in there. Human. Subject status compromised. Insectoids compromise subject's dermis. So bugs got under the skin. That's not good. Reproduction within host has resulted in compromised containment vessel. In other words, the insects reproduced and burst out of the person. Inquest personnel unable to acquire hands-on why? Why were they unable to get samples? Send over a pair of earplugs for future host infection experiments. Because bugs go in the ears or because of all the screaming? It's unclear. I'm not sure.
You're a stain on this land.
Oh. Alright, we'll try and catch some of that dollar.
For what you've done.
We've seen rapid disease progression in these Charr, correct?
Yes, but we've only tested a few. Their village is close by, and security didn't want the locals out for blood.
Ridiculous. If they act up, we trigger the quarantine protocol. Let's get this one infected. I'll fetch a sample.
I'm not your lab animal.
Alright.
How did you...
We're here to release that person. Wow.
You see that?
That's like pretty impressive, right? Alright, let's release some of these creatures as well real quick. Let's finish that.
Your arrival was well timed.
You obviously didn't need much help.
Alert. Security breach in progress. Initiating radical decontamination protocol level 1.
That sounds like a problem.
Just one more confirmation. Feel the fury.
It does sound like a problem, Bram. Alright. So because this mysterious Charr escaped, now we got some golem problems we're going to have to deal with. But we were going to help him out anyway, right? We were letting everything else go. So why wouldn't we have done the same for mysterious Charr?
They'll have to hit much harder. I'll break you down. Soften him up. Time to do some real damage.
Alert. Radical decontamination protocol level 1 unsuccessful. Proceeding to level 2.
We need to get out of here. Any other prisoners?
The others from my tribe. They didn't make it.
Your tribe?
Our village is nearby.
Can we talk about how to get out of here?
Upstairs. There's a platform that can take us to the roof. I'll come with you.
So this is mysterious Charr here, and we'll kind of talk about it as we're able, as we advance here. Represents something really good that ArenaNet doesn't do enough of, which is introducing new things. They rehash old things that they felt worked for them time and time and time again. It gets nauseating. Here is something really good. Something we have not at any point in Guild Wars 2 seen before. A Charr that's different from all the others. And as we advance in this chapter, we're going to find out why. And it's one of the great things about this chapter. I actually like this chapter in a lot of ways. I like the map. I like certain areas within the map. I think that the instances are pretty good, although the upcoming one is a bit tiresome. But altogether, like the instances are bad. And I love this, and we'll get more of it. Like, who this Charr is, we'll learn a lot more about here very soon.
Alert. Preparing for radical decontamination protocol level 2. Evacuation is strongly advised.
Level 2? Leave everything.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're not getting out. So that guy was going to say, like, we need to get out. But he's not going to, because we're going to kill all the Inquest as part of our trying to get the achievement, right?
Don't engage. That's what the quarantine protocols are for.
Okay, so this is where it gets kind of tricky if you want that achievement. Like, making sure that you've tracked down all the little Inquest. I think we're doing good so far. Yep, there's one.
Alert. Distress message
Time to do some
received.
real
Source Grotto Primus. Main complex.
Sounds important. See if you can listen to it.
Okay. Did we get all the... you know what? Why don't we see if there's any more Inquest before we listen to the distress signal. That way we wrap that up. Generally, I don't do... Well, generally, these days I don't really do achievements much at all. I'm slowly nugging away on my main account. You know, all my alt accounts, I don't even care. But we got some easy ones here in the story, so today we're doing that. Let's get it done, and then we'll go back and listen to that message. This should be the last one, I think. Yeah, there we go. 1 achievement point. Aren't you glad we took the time? We still hear screaming in the background, though. All the other Inquest and all the other rooms. All right, let's listen to this distress call. It's Research Wing Terminal K0062. Let's hear the message.
It says distress message. Subject awakened attack. Audio failed. Sender Goric.
Goric? Not you too. I know him. He's Blish's little brother.
Blish? The college friend Blish?
Yeah, Goric's an entomologist. And if I'm honest, kind of weird. But still, Inquest?
Well, I guess we know where to find Joko's Awakened. The main complex.
The big central structure of the invaders' base. We'll be able to see it from the roof.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Yeah, Bram. Why are you asking questions? Oh, is that bad?
Okay, everyone on the elevator.
Why am I interacting with the random Inquest portal? Oh, I can't. Use of evacuation portals is limited to research staff level 3 or higher. Wonder how they enforce that. Well, I guess we're taking the elevator. I never noticed that portal there before. Maybe the if we don't kill the Inquest, some of them go through it, I guess. Not sure. Never noticed it. Alright, elevator, here we go. I like how we can see what's going on out there, and like that's cool, right? Isn't that impressive? Really cool.
Rada Primus, I presume.
Hurry. We'll have to jump.
So having been clear that I don't like the power creep of technology within the story, I understand that's not what power creep is meant to communicate. It's just how it feels to me. I do love this stuff. That's super cool. But this is also consistent with the world they already created. Radasum is not that different from this. Don't break your own rules. Alright. Jump off the observation platform. Seems dumb, but oh, I got a glider. I'm fine. Does everyone have a glider? Apparently my glider breaks. Alright, so second instance complete.
Ready for more.
Now we're all laying on the ground, all knocked out and stuff.
Everyone all right?
Like I said, glider must have broke.
I think so.
I'm gonna feel that one in the morning.
That's what you said after the last ale moot.
Thanks for your help.
Nature smiles on a kindness repaid. But don't thank me yet. We just stirred up the hive, I expect.
Care to elaborate, mysterious Charr?
I have to warn my village about what they're doing to our people.
Seems like we have a common enemy in the Inquest. Joko too, I imagine. If that cube's as well defended as it looks, maybe we should work together.
We do share a common cause. Wise words. Yes, we'll speak to the elders.
That whistle was her calling her mount. Is that what we do when we push X? Or whatever you bound it to?
Follow me.
Maybe so. I'm actually glad it doesn't do that, though. I'm glad my character doesn't whistle every time I press X to call my mount. That would get real tiresome real fast.
What's the name of your tribe?
The Olmacon. My people came south a long time ago, after we broke away from the Flame Legion. You're not.
Flame Legion? Look,
No.
she's back.
Good.
Boudica's returned. I always considered my friends my warband, but truth is, I don't have one. I'm a gladium.
Oh? Well, my mother used to say a Charr without a tribe is just a Charr who hasn't found one yet.
Okay, so that interaction is actually really good. When I said earlier that they did something here that they don't do nearly enough of, and I say that 100% as an indictment of their narrative, that being that they created something new and different and didn't just rehash old ideas that they already have used before. That contrast there, that dialogue where they have two different, cultural interactions almost, is 100% that. That's a win for them, and they don't get nearly enough of those wins when it comes to narrative. So here we have a Charr that is not only different in appearance, and of course we can see that when we look at the two. If I go closer, I think it's going to trigger more dialogue. That's why I'm saying that from back here. Different in appearance, but in culture. So Rox reluctantly says, I'm a gladium, I don't have a warband, because in the normal Charr culture, that being the Charr of Ascalon, Blaze Ridge Mountains, right? and ultimately like Blood Legion homelands and all that. For them, that is a great dishonor. I think it's meant. Gladium is, I think, meant to kind of be like, like Ronin, right? But for the Olmecon here, that does not have the same negative connotation. And in fact, their entire culture is vastly different than if we were to describe the normal Charr as kind of being like Spartan in nature. Then these Charr are very different, where they live a very simple kind of subsistence farming and fishing, uh, kind of, I don't know, like what we would, an oversimplification of like what we think of with like some of the Native American tribes or something like that. And it's really cool. Now, it's not something that's going to last like chapter after chapter where we continue to get the Olmecon. The Olmecon are going to stick around for quite a bit of the story. But unfortunately, this is the only chapter where we get like interesting insights and developments into the culture and what it means for these Charr here.
Cub shows promise with the staff. She's growing fast. She's strong like her mother, though the cuts and bruises she doesn't like so well. She'll learn. Pain's good. Means you're still alive.
She's still Charr, but very different, and it's really cool. So I like a lot what they did with all that here. Huge win for them. All right, Boudica.
Good to see you back, sister. We heard an explosion. You're doing?
Ours. We need to see the elders.
With the outsiders? Not possible.
Should we be offended? I'm a little offended.
It's urgent. There's no time for formalities.
Fine. But only one of them goes in. And if there's trouble, it's your responsibility. Bram and I can wait. I'd like to look around anyway. I'm curious to see how the Olmecon live. Aren't you?
Not really, but I'll play along.
Go ahead. We'll meet up after.
I like that Bram doesn't like the commander being the commander. Someone needs to point out that the commander should not constantly be in charge of everything. Why not Bram? So why would the Olmecon not want outsiders in here in the first place? Is it just like a superstitious thing? It's not. So when these Charr separated themselves from like the primary Charr culture, that naturally made them kind of close off to the outside world. And so that has as much to do with it as anything. It's not necessarily like a superstition that we're like spiritually tainting the chamber or something.
Nearly. The invaders had us all. I only escaped with the help of this warrior.
I'm honored to meet you all.
Bringing an outsider into this chamber is highly irregular.
The threat is highly irregular. We have to go on the offensive. Drive the invaders out of our lands.
Absolutely not. Starting a war is a last resort. We have our young and our old to consider.
The Inquest already started the war. They've killed your people. Diseases, cruel experiments. They won't stop. And now there may be Awakened involved. Sooner or later, you'll have to act. Better now with our help.
No. Better to move and find a new home. Beats getting butchered defending this one.
We don't know that's their intention.
You didn't see what they did to our people. I did.
What did they do? Where's my dad? Why didn't he come back with Boudica?
We don't know. Not for sure.
Don't. I hate it when grown-ups talk down to cubs. If he's not back, he's in trouble. What are you gonna do about it?
Oh, child.
I'm not a child. I'm a warrior, same as you. Same as my dad. And if you're not gonna do something, we will.
Oh, Effie. Effie?
Outlander, I need to tell the elders what happened. can you keep an eye on the cubs?
Of course. Whatever you need.
Nature bless you. They usually play at the ritual circle by the water's edge.
Okay. I generally do not let strangers babysit my kid. But yeah, you know, different cultures, different strokes for different folks, I guess. All right, so let's go babysit while Barca talks to the elders and whatnot.
What do you eat around here?
Whatever the land offers us. We hunt, we fish, we raise a few animals, farm a bit. Rotate our crops, our quarry, make sure the land and its creatures are sustained.
Almost sounds like a norm.
Huh. Cultural lesson there from Bram. I like it. Thanks, Bram. Thanks for that. All right, let's see what these cubs are up to before they break something or whatever.
They're just gonna sit and argue. It's up to us.
I'm not scared. I say we go after him ourselves.
I admire your courage, but I'm not sure going after them is the best idea.
Not your business, Outlander.
Maybe. But haven't your families lost enough? How are they gonna feel if you don't come back?
We'll come back. We know how to fight.
Show me.
Huh?
You heard me. Show me what you can do. I'll do the same. And we'll all get better at keeping each other safe.
We won't go easy on you.
You better not.
I do wish that the three of them would just, like, wreck the commander. That'd be amazing. Like, this is the end of the commander's story. Because 3 Omicron cubs just straight annihilated her. But that's not what's gonna happen. I mean, unless I just really suck and allow myself to get annihilated by 3 Omicron cubs. But let's avoid that in the interest of keeping our story playthrough, like, functional and not just, you know, embarrassing.
Not bad. But that's not all we've got. Hope you're ready.
Ready for what? What is going on? Juvenile Rock Gazelle. What is happening? This is cool.
Strength of the pack.
Oop. I didn't want to get hit by that skill. Maybe I will get wrecked by these 3. I think I already have that achievement. There's an achievement for not getting hit by that skill. But I think I might have got it on 0-0, so we're good. We're cool.
Wow. You're pretty good.
You're not so bad yourself.
Thanks,
You
Fen.
3 can be a big help to your people. But only if you stay here to protect them.
I guess.
I know it's hard. That voice in your head, spoiling for a fight. But a wise warrior knows when to ignore that voice.
The commander's like the last person we want to be getting, like,
voice in your
moral
head.
lessons from.
You're not careful, it can take over.
Bram is the second to last person we want them getting, like, moral lessons from. Oh no!
Get them to the village.
Alright, so.
Commander, you clear a path.
Hey, we know how to fight.
Yeah. Let us help.
You want to help? Do it under the shield.
Feel the fury.
Alright. Unhappy Inquest, presumably from Rada Primus, mad about the whole us escaping experience, are trying to get the cubs. I actually kind of wish I was running... Can I do this without... Nope, I'm in combat.
Commander, can't get through with these golems in the way.
Yep, so here they're going to introduce a mechanic that we're going to need later. This volatile magic. We're going to use it against the shielded golems. Shielded golems will then release a power core, and the power core is what we damage. Hey, get out of that. In order to take care of, of those golems. You can carry like 4, I think, of those charges, so It's always helpful to grab a few extras.
Feel the fury.
Bring it down!
Maureen, don't hurt her. She's on our side.
The Outlander has a dragon.
It's a long story, Nightwalker. Don't worry about it.
Ballista units. Ranged assault protocols.
Scary. Look at that. That's cool. Oh, no. It's not good for us, though. Good thing Bram's got his shield up.
Phalanx units forward. Formation 0-1 Alpha.
I can't keep this up much longer.
I'm here. Try and catch your breath.
Doing all right, Bram? Ooh. Yeah, that artillery. Ooh, there we go. Oh no, did we get stuck? Oh no, we got stuck. Now we just got one axe.
Feel the fury. We heal as one.
Alright, so this one requires not one, but two charges. And that's, again, building us up for the final encounter, which is going to require... Is it 3 or 4 charges at a time? Can't remember. We'll get there soon enough.
Time to do some real damage. We heal as one.
Alright, Bram, cover me so I can get my other axe.
Focus is one. Work together.
No, I still can't get out of combat.
There's my dad. Dad! Let me help you!
No, you're safer in the village. Don't worry, we'll get him there.
Feel the fury.
There we go.
Long time to keep a shield going. You cubs are doing great. Quick breather, then we move again.
Time to do some real damage. They'll have to hit much harder.
Let's go.
Well, thanks, Irene. Totally wasted my skills. She gonna do it again? Nice. Good job, Irene. Go team. And by team, I mean really just Irene, right? That really didn't have anything to do with us. Alright, 2 more left. 1 more left.
Time to do some real damage.
We need to keep moving.
Karg the Gentle. Not looking so gentle over there. Wow, did you see that stomp? Like, had a shockwave all the way over here. Very impressive.
They'll have to hit much harder. Feel the fury.
We almost got the kids to where they need to be. I think they do a really good job with like the character models for like the little Charr cubs. They're really kind of cool, especially what's his name? This little nugget, Win. It's a really cool model.
Time to do some real damage.
There's rocks.
They could probably use some help over there.
Let's go.
All right. So we can kind of bypass some of this. Like, these Olmecon can take care of themselves. They'll be okay. We need to get back to the Elder's Chamber, right? Now that the kids are safe. We met our obligation, took care of their kids for them. Not all their kids. This village has more than 3 kids. But we took care of those 3.
Time to do some real damage.
Albert, they need help in the council chamber. Go! Rox and I'll help out here. Come on then, let's see what you've got.
Oh, that's something. I would rather go fight this. That would be... Can't even target it. That would be more rewarding than this. I don't enjoy this particular encounter. It frustrates me. There are some mechanics to it that I really don't like one bit, if I'm being quite honest. It's interesting. I think it's an interesting encounter. I think it serves the story well. But I have not yet, after all this time, cracked the code on how to dodge some of these attacks. It feels like they're kind of designed. Maybe they're like if you have vulnerability or something, I guess using something like that would be beneficial. But some of the attacks we're going to see here in a minute, I feel like for most classes, most of the time, are exceptionally difficult or impossible to dodge, and that doesn't really feel good. If action combat's going to be their thing, then I would prefer to see a situation where the functions of action combat,
Sounds ominous.
duck, dodge, dip, dodge, duck. You know what I'm talking about. All right. I'm forgetting one of them.
Support to enemies. Initiating priority assessment.
Elder, stay back. You don't want it targeting you.
The Omicron did not cower.
Assessment complete.
Well, you were cowering during the meeting a minute ago. I don't remember which elder it was.
We will not be chased from our home. Do you hear me? We will not. No.
Zap. So much for Elder Narn. We do appreciate that he was standing up for his village when it happened, but yeah. So that's one of the attacks where, look, sometimes it just spawns right on you, and that's super frustrating. Well, there was no potential to dodge that. Yeah, so I don't like that about this particular encounter. Now you're going to get picked back up by the elders anyway, and maybe that's ultimately what they want. But I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. See, again, it was fired right onto me. Don't like it. All right. It's not funny. I'm sure there's a smart person who could explain to me what I'm doing wrong, but
For your safety, do not engage with power sources.
now there is an achievement for doing this incredibly quickly. I'm not sure even on my main account if I've ever gotten that achievement or not. I don't know that it's a very easy thing to do solo. I'm sure some people have done it, but see, we got it down to 34%, and that's about as well as I'm usually able to do on that first burn. The time to successfully of course, right on top of me. The time constraints for that are really weird time constraints, super short. Let's see. Yeah, we got 54 seconds left to get that achievement. So I don't know how we. I guess you'd need to get it on the first burn, I suppose. Now we're big. Thanks, elders. we got? 3. Need one more. Alright. Let's get this wrapped up. It's not even affecting it right now. It doesn't have his shield up in the first place. Really weird. Does it now? Nope. Hey. It does feel like when you're big like this, yeah, that everything's in slow motion, like dodging and stuff feels less reactive. Not a good feeling. Alright, let's be about done with this, shall we? Alright, glad this is done. Oh, narn. Oh man, is this like the whole tribe? What's going on here? Everyone's pretty upset.
We return his body to the land, that it may be renewed. May his memory be a star to guide us.
We will keep his memory bright. We will keep his memory bright.
Well, that's pretty cool.
The day is won. The cost was high, but our victory brings resolve. We will not let these ravagers seize our land. The time has come to take the fight to them. Are there objections? In that case, warrior, will you stand with us?
Count on it.
I was just going to say, sure, but count on it works too. Alright. So that is the third of the 3 instances that are essentially strung together. Again, I don't dislike that process at all. I think it serves the story well, and you know, it's cool how they did it that way. Now, what it does mean is, in terms of like instanced gameplay, we're actually on, like almost done with the chapter. But we got a lot of stuff we got to do in the map before we'll be done with the chapter. So that is something that when we come back next time, we'll be focusing on before we get to the last instance, is a whole bunch of stuff that takes place across the map to kind of set the table. Now, a couple notes about this map before we go. Well, one at least. We'll save the rest for next time because exploring this map kind of speaks to some of that. But let's see if we can find a little bit of the map currency here. Oftentimes there's a node right here, but there's not in this particular instance. Of course there's not. Alright, there should be some over here. Oh man, cash in on the chili peppers that time. Nice. Alright. There we go. Here's some over here. Difluorite crystals. So, Season 3 is the place to get Ascended Trinkets, right? The Season 3 currencies and, across those different maps, the different map currencies and so forth. It just makes it easy. This is the one map in Season 4 where I definitely think that it is worth putting forth the effort to try and do it as well. Now, I wouldn't burn your first 250 if you're still working on the Skyscale process, because you're going to need 250 for the Skyscale process. It was weird how many people, when Skyscale came out, which was towards, at the end of Season 4, when Skyscale was introduced, I was shocked at the number of people who had little to no map currency from any of the Season 4 maps, and thus had to farm all of it when they wanted their Skyscale. I was really dumbfounded by that. I had basically all the currency I needed. Now there's still the entire rest of the process, and that was still a bit time consuming, particularly then before they reduced some of the time gates. But never hurts to have a stash of map currencies. Oh, did I not give Taimi your ribbon back? Well, too late now. So let's take a look here. There we go. Difluorite band, difluorite earrings. So, in fact, actually, well, I could use the earrings. I don't need the band. Although, we'll keep that. I can use 18 vitality, why not? So really, yeah, I just got one slot left where I need, and then the back piece, but that's, there are other options for that. We could replace this Forgotten Seal, though. So this would be, an option to do that, right? We're going to need quite a bit more, but, yeah. I just wanted to reinforce that in Season 4, there is one map that provides us a viable option for Ascended Trinkets, and this is it. Alright, so let's go ahead and find a nice spot to kind of close things out. What about over here? We'll go to the spire and close things out. And then tomorrow, we will, at a minimum, complete this second chapter of Season 4. Yeah, this will work. Why not? Yeah, look at that. That's nice scenery. It's kind of annoying, but there we go. So, we have entered into Chapter 2 of Season 4. What are we actually trying to do? Right? Because usually, when we encounter these Living World seasons, we end up doing a whole bunch of different things en route to this long circuitous route to whatever our original goal was. What is our original goal? It is to stop the awakened incursions into Tyria, which probably is going to involve somehow putting a stop to Joko. What is actually happening now? Well, we came here for Rata Novus to find a scientist named Blish, an old friend of Taimi's who's now part of the Inquest. And we're hoping that with his assistance, or at least by finding him, we can find where these portals that are facilitating the Awakened entering Tyria are. We can shut those down. So that's kind of what we're trying to do, put a stop to those incursions. But in coming here, we encountered this whole village over here of these Olmacon, a very different type of Charr, and our interactions with them have kind of taken the front seat, while we still have the interim goal, or not interim, but the slightly longer term goal of taking down these portals. The Olmacon have become a part of that, inadvertently or through no choice of their own, certainly, because of their interactions with the Inquest. So when we come back next time, we will continue to assist the Olmacon against the Inquest, and ultimately try to find Blish, his brother Goric, and put a stop to the awakened invasions of Tyria. So tomorrow, that's where we will pick it up. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you have a good afternoon, good weekend, whatever the case may be. Thank you.